We're coming down to the last game of the season, and a lot of good things are happening at Bastia. Unfortunately, I get the feeling this summer is going to be a lot rockier than we want it to be. My name's FM19, and this is the Ritornu Gloria with SC Bastia, episode 67. Well, as you can see here, we still have 2 games left to play. But as you can also see here, we have clinched 4th place and have qualified for Champions League football next year. This was a bit of a surprise. I expected Monaco to fight a little bit harder for it, but as it turns out, the draw against Marseille really hurt them. They beat Lille and they beat Caen, but because we've been on a good winning streak, the victories at Troyes and Strasbourg, the tie at Lille, and the win at Lyon, which was huge in the scheme of things, we clinched 4th spot. No matter what happens, we can't fall out of 4th place. We are 4 points ahead of Monaco with 2 games left to play. Monaco has 1 game left to play. Even if they win, they finish on 75 points. So, well done us. PSG, 103 points. They haven't lost in a while. Lucien Marin leads us with 21 goals. Kane Wilson, 7.36 rating. Armand and Kane, 10 assists. Sotovia, the best pass completion, 92%. Alfonso Sousa and Marin, 5 players of the match awards. 57 goals are 6th highest. 31 goals are 3rd best. We're first in yellow cards. I knew we could do it. It was stupid. You know what? We've still got a game to play before we get to the Caen game, but I'll go ahead and recap this now. We drew away at Lille 1-1 thanks to a Frank goal in the 33rd minute, and then we beat Lyon thanks to an Armand goal in the 61st minute. This was a very close match. We won 1-1, or we won 1-0 rather. How can you win a match 1-1? We had 12 shots, 4 on target. Lyon had 8 and 3. I don't think that this was exactly their strongest team, but they had a lot of good players on the field. Everton, Dembele, Bourgeois, Pineda, Aouar. You know, they were very... They're all really good players, and just for whatever reason, they could not break our defense. I played a fairly rotated side. As you can see, Ramirez and Ponzo, Soldevilla were about the only full-time starters. And Armand came on in the 56th minute, and he scored 5 minutes later. It was very nice. It was a very nice goal. And this win clinched us 4th place. The announcement here. And then we got our initial budget set for next year. $600,000 per week in salary and a transfer budget of $20.58 million, which at the moment, now it gives us 25,000 euros to work with in terms of payroll, but we're going to address that after the Troyes game. So I'm going to go ahead, play Montpellier offline, and we're going to come back for the Troyes match. Not Troyes, Caen. We're playing Caen. I don't know why. I've got Troyes on the mind. I can't explain why. We're playing Caen. And we'll be back for that match in just a bit. Well, the eagle-eyed amongst you will notice this is the 3rd outfit I'm wearing for this video because real life got in the way and I had to leave for a while. Came back with shaved ice all over the front of my shirt. Fun times. Nothing like being surrounded by 500 elementary school kids running around all hopped up on sugar and whatnot. So anyhow, we've got our game against Caen coming up, and this is who we're playing. Ramirez in goal, Salibi, Ponzo, Cristiano, and Wilson as the defensive back 4, Soldevilla as the defensive midfielder behind Marjman and Santi, Frank and Armand up top as the attacking midfielders, and Marin as the striker. Before we proceed with the game, though, in the intervening match, we got it handed to us. Montpellier thumped us 3-0. It was a horrible game to watch. We had 12 shots, 7 on target. Montpellier had 16 and 8. We just could not put anything together. We had 4 long-range shots that were just... I don't know what got into Sousa. He decided I have kind of a chance to score, so I'm going to kind of try and take it. Gazikadiev also had a really long shot. It was just... Noah had a horrible game. Zadis had a horrible game. Cristiano had a horrible game. You know... And Yoel Ramirez is still on 17 shutouts for the season. So this is our last chance to get him 18 shutouts and break the record. So fingers crossed, we'll see if we can get it done. Caen's got a good team. They made it all the way to the French Cup where they lost to PSG. PSG's pulled off like the quadruple this year already. They've won League One. They won the Coup de Champions. They won the Coup de League. They won the Coup de France. So I believe they're still in the Champions League and they have an opportunity to do that. If they do that, it's a quintuple. Andre Soldevilla is bound and determined to keep us in first place for a number of yellow cards this season. Really quiet first half. No highlights. Caen, though, has had 6 shots, 3 on target. We've had 5 shots, 1 on target. And that's about the quietest first half of football we have had in a long, long time. Wilson on the corner kick. Sends it in. Knocked away, but Frank's going to run it down. On the left side of the box, tries crossing it in. Bounces off a Caen player. Voisin has it. Drives forward. Passes it up into space for LeBrun. That was some pretty pitiful defending. And we had guys back there to defend. Why Ponzo, I think that's Ponzo, the number 5. I'm almost positive that's Ponzo. Why Ponzo did what he did there is just, okay, it's boggling. Going to go to the attack. LeBrun with the corner kick in for Caen. Knocked away. Mendietta's going to run it down. Crosses it in, and Allison scores. Although, to be fair, this is our 3rd game in 6 days. And like I said, Caen's a decent squad. They made it all the way to the finals of the French Cup. So, it's a nice goal. He was onside, but he was across the line. Still didn't figure that rule out. Well, we're a little past 70 minutes. We're going to make a couple changes here. Wilson's going to come off. Flores is going to come on. Solovia is going to come off. Gajikadiev is going to come on. And Marin is going to come off. And Foster is going to come on. LeBrun sends it in. Knocked away, but Tangara's there. 3-0. Not exactly how I wanted to finish the season. That's just... I accidentally closed my OBS window. I had to open it up, make sure I was still recording. 10 minutes left in the game. Pretty even stats-wise. They've had more opportunities in front of the goal and better chances. This is going to be at Salibi with the throw-in to Gajikadiev. Crosses it in. Tangara knocks it away. Flores is going to run it down. Hey, Flores managed to pick up a yellow card, too. And that is the game. Nuts. Poor effort. Help strike lucky. They really didn't strike lucky. They were the better team on the pitch. Now, we received 12.3 million euros for finishing 4th in League One. By comparison, if you finish 4th in the Premier League, you get a hell of a lot more than that. Well, as it stands, PSG did not lose a game at all this season. They finished on 106 points. They're 30 points ahead of us, and we finished in 4th. Monaco gets Europa League. They finished a point behind us. It's a good thing we clinched when we did. Being relegated, Strasbourg and Nancy. Saint-Étienne is in the playoffs. PSG won the league again. They've got a hammerlock on this thing. They're playing Lens in the French Cup final, and they're playing Man City in the Champions League final. You know what? Let me do this here real quick. We're going to take out everything but League One. So that's this season. That's last season. The last time they lost was February 18th of 2024. And it is now the 17th of May, 2026. That's just insane. This was the season we beat them. This was our 1 in 100 game. Oh, after Mbappe scored in the first minute even. Oh, they're going to be a tough nut to crack. You know what? We'll do a player roundup now before everybody leaves on vacation. If we sort by appearances, Yoel Ramirez, 52 games, 1 assist. Solid in goal for us. 17 clean sheets. He's a big reason we finished where we finished. Cristiano, 44 games, 1 goal, 1 assist. Jonathan Ponzo, 42 games, 1 goal, 2 assists. Omar Salibi, 41 goals and 41 appearances, 5 assists, 1 player of the match. I tried to get him in on loan again in January. Instead, he has agreed to go to Borussia Dortmund. So I don't think we're going to be able to get him on loan, and I think I've taken care of that with a future transfer, which you'll see next season. Well, Guimarães, it's not a future transfer. I brought him in already. Rafael Almeida from Guimarães, who I paid 4 million euros going to 4.6. He's a defensive left back, but I loaned him back to Guimarães because I didn't think he would get a lot of playing time here, and that's before everything happened. But he will come in as a 3.5-star current, 4.5-star potential, 20-year-old defensive left back. And he's had a really good season in Guimarães. He's really improved quite a bit. Frank in 41 games, 19 goals, 6 assists, 4 players in the match. Armand No in 43 games, 8 goals, 10 assists, 3 players in the match. Kane Wilson, 41 games, 10 assists, 4 players in the match. Lucien Marin had a really good season, 39 games, 21 goals, 7 assists, 5 players in the match. Afonso Sousa was phenomenal in the attacking midfielder position. Well, not attacking midfielder. He played midfielder, but as an advanced playmaker more often than not. 38 appearances, 6 off the bench, 13 goals, 6 assists, 5 players in the match. Andres Soldevilla, 1 goal in 38 games, but he's the man that all the plays run through. He's a facilitator. That's why he has the 92% pass completion. Grant Marjman, 26 appearances, 3 goals, 1 assist, 1 player of the match. Kick Perry, 23 appearances, 11 off the bench, 1 player of the match. Lyle Foster, he was injured for part of the season. 11 goals, 2 assists, 3 players of the match. See if there's anybody else. Zadis came off the bench. He was a good substitute for us. 17 appearances, 13 off the bench, 4 goals, 5 assists. Islam Gajakadiev, 11 appearances, 18 off the bench, 1 assist. Sandy Komsania, 1 goal, 1 assist, and 11 appearances, 9 off the bench. Matis Flores, who will probably be switching out with Kane Wilson quite a bit next year as the defensive right back. 10 appearances, 5 off the bench, 1 goal, or 1 assist rather. Belani Malangu, who should get into the rotation next year as a striker. 3 starts, 12 off the bench, 2 goals, and an assist. So here's what we're looking at in the offseason. At the moment, these 5 players are not having their contracts renewed. They're just running out. Almost everybody who is a starter, and I've taken out the loan players in that, so they're not going to confuse things. Ponzo's wanted by Brighton, but I'm going to keep him. Soldevilla is wanted by Alaves, and I'd like to keep him. Marjman is wanted by Crotone, and I'm probably going to let him go. Armand is wanted by VfB Stuttgart. I'd like to keep him. I think this 2.5-star current is wrong. And I think it's because of the coach looking at him. I think he's definitely a 3-star player. And the fact that he's versatile at defensive right back and attacking midfielder on the right means I'd have to get a really good offer for him to let him go. Both Frank and Lyle Foster, I think, are going to move on. We've reached that point. I know I've mentioned this before. So when we started, I got to see where I am, the camera here. We were here. This was tier 5 of French football. And we had Sofiane Boris Bell. And Sofiane Boris Bell got us up to the national. And then we got Frank. And that's a pretty big gap. So I'm going to move this down. And this is Frank. And then we got into League 2 and we got Lucien. And now we're in League 1. So, I mean, if you're looking from Sofiane Boris Bell to Lucien, it's that big a gap. Now we're at Lucien Marin, and you're talking smaller. The players we're going to bring in, due to our reputation and the fact that it hasn't really grown that much, it's getting better. And the fact that our transfer budget isn't as good as it could be. I mean, PSG's paying 5 times the amount of our transfer budget for 1 player. And they've got a couple players making our weekly salary as they're making And they have a couple of players whose weekly salary is our total salary. It's an unfair competition. So I have to do really good scouting this summer. I have to go out and find the next Lyle Foster, who I got for 185,000 euros, and who's going to be a contributor. But he has to be better than Lyle Foster. Lyle Foster right now is 2.5-star current, 3.5-star potential, and he's 25 years old. And even with the amount of playing time he's had some injury issues. I don't think he's going to get that much better, especially with Marin here. And the same thing goes for Frank. So if they do move on, the players I bring in, they're going to have to be younger. They're going to have to be as good as Foster and Frank are now, with the potential to get better, which means I'm also going to have to play them more. And the fact that seeing the fixture congestion we had at the end of this year, if it's like that next year, we're going to need a larger squad in terms of the starters on the first squad. The reserves, there's nobody really there that I would play right away except Luca Mercurio, who I brought in to start this year, but French registration closed the day before the French transfer window did. That makes no freaking sense whatsoever. Alexander Grebniuk has potential at defensive right back, but I will probably send him out on loan. What we're waiting on really is for all these 5-star players to get older so I can start getting them first team playing time. Bastien Pinchon saw one game as a starter in the Europa League. But as you can see, he started on the under-19 squad. 37 games, 38 goals, 17 assists, 10 players in the match. This kid is the future striker. He's 16 years old. I mean, he's this good right now. His physicals are really, really good. His mentals have gone up. His technicals have improved. You know, I don't usually play pressing forwards, but, 38 goals, 17 assists in the French national, or in the, what were they in? The Bastia under-19s were in Group D, and they finished mid-table, I want to say. Let's go there and find out. Yeah, they finished 8th out of 14th, which when you consider who they're with, Marseille under-19s, Monaco under-19s, OGC Nice under-19s. Saint-Étienne has a good under-19s team, as does Montpellier. Saint-Étienne could be a force to be reckoned with in the next couple of years if some of their youngsters really do get that much better. And the under-19 squad had some really good games. They beat Avranches 6-1. They beat Pluses Robinson 6-2. They had a game near the end of the year where, they beat Dieppe 7-4. They beat Grasse 8-0. They got all the way to the Gambardella Cup quarterfinals and they lost to Havre under-19s. But Bastien Pinchon is the future striker of this club. I think Lucien Marin is the bridge to Bastien Pinchon and Regis Valet, who is injured, but he also had 26 goals and 11 assists. Bastien Pinchon is the player PSG has been after every transfer window. I've turned down offers that could possibly go up to 12.5 million euros for this kid. I'm going to keep him. He's on a professional contract already. I'm not letting him go unless it's for a king's ransom. So, Gaetan Carrera is, improving by leaps and bounds as a central midfielder. He's going to be the Bernade replacement probably. Bernade got injured. I don't know if he's going to come back as healthy as I think he should. Charny Kasongo could be the replacement for Frank eventually. But again, he's only 15 years old. I got to wait till he's 16 before I can play him in any sort of competition. So, and then Nordine Arab is an advanced midfielder who he's got potential too. We'll have to see if it develops. So this summer is going to be interesting from a who we bring in, who we let go. Well, it's always interesting from that point of view, but it's going to be even more interesting in who we loan out and which team we loan them out to. That's something I need to pay more attention to this year. If I go back to the squad view here, I didn't have a lot of players out on loan. Well, okay, Queensy's not coming back. Rafael Mita's coming in. Blanchard, Casio, probably, you know what? A lot of these guys aren't going to be back. So, we're going to have to spend some money, but we're going to have to be smart about it. And while I don't mind overpaying for players, I'm not going to grossly overpay for them. I mean, in terms of Rafael Almeida, maybe 4 million euros was a bit much. It goes up to 4.6. But for someone who is this good now, he's 3.5-star current ability right now. I mean, he's a better defensive left. He's almost as good a defensive left back as Omar Salibi. If I can compare him real quick. This is him and Omar Salibi. He's faster. He's just as physical. His vision's the same. His attacking's better. His technical's better. His mentals are the same. Salibi's better in the air. This is a straight up swap. So, 4 million for a 19-year-old defensive left back with that sort of ability, I think that's a deal. It's not a Moneyball deal, but I'm definitely getting value for money. I think, this is probably going to be one of the most difficult off seasons I've had since the save has started. Anyhow, we're going to keep going forward. There's end of season awards coming up, then we'll wrap it up, and we'll go from there. Well, this is nice. Arsenal's interested. Too bad I'm not. Well, we received 7.44 million euros for television revenue from the Euro Cup. And we received a further 857,000 euros for the coefficient ranking pool money for the Euro Cup. The squad bonus, 525,000 euros to be paid out. Euro Cup review. OGC Nice won. Well done. Well, French football. It did really well. I don't think Champions League's been played yet, though. We'll check that out. Come back in a bit. And now Chelsea's offered a job interview. Sorry, guys. French football is my bread and butter. In other news, I found usually right after you get your tournament money is the best time to go to the board and ask them for stuff. And as a result, we're improving the data analysis facilities, we're improving the youth facilities, and we're improving the training facilities. Also, I don't think I've done this in a while. This is my profile now. I have worked my way up to the Continental Pro license, earning 17,500 euros a week. I'm doing okay in some of this stuff. Domestic player bias, reputation, that's kind of annoying. My technical, and mentals have all gone up. Motivating man management and determination, I think those have gone up as well. I know attacking and defending have gone up. The goalkeeper stuff just hasn't. Honestly, I'd have to pull up the first season and take a screenshot again to see exactly how much I've improved. It's interesting. They'll do it for players, but they won't do it for coaches. Now the end of season awards have started rolling around. Afonso Sousa was nominated to the best 11. Lucien Marin, Cristiano, and Joel Ramirez were the other players selected. That's not too shabby. Best 11, where are they now? D. Kitty's at Lyonnais, Bazamble's at Fiorentina. How did he do this year? 31 goals, or 31 starts, allowed 31, 12 shutouts for 6.91. Well, that's not too bad, all things considered. Brigado played for Hanover. 26 starts and a 6.46. That's not too good. They finished 15th. And Tolise, who ended up going to VfB Stuttgart. How did he do? 27 starts, 39 allowed, 5 shutouts for 6.79. Could have been better. Could have been a lot worse. Jean-Marc Parent for Karlsruhe. Didn't get a single start. Something tells me he's regretting that move. End of season awards. Kane Wilson, Player of the Year, beating Sousa by a slim margin. Marin came in third. Only 11% between first and third. Joel Ramirez, signing of the season for 3.17 million euros from Atletico Pamplona. Young Player of the Season, Lucien Marin. He also had the goal of the season. Let's check this out. Against Montpellier in October. Good grief, that's way back. Oh, this is okay. Yeah, he drives forward, drives by one player, drives by the second player, keeps going, and dinks the shot over the keeper and into the net. That was a brilliant run, and definitely worthy of goal of the season. Year in review, we exceeded expectations, finished 4th in League One. We were in 4th for most of the season. We fell down to 5th a couple of times, and we were there for the better part of 3 weeks. Lost in the semifinals of the Euro Cup, lost in the 9th round of the French Cup, lost in the 4th round of the Coup de League. Match of the season was a 3-2 victory against Marseille, the moment to forget, the 3-0 loss to Montpellier near the end of the season. Dynamics-wise, this is the other thing that bothers me. If like Frank and Bernade both leave, Noah's going to have to step up. Cristiano's going to have to set up. Foster could well be leaving. It's going to be interesting. End of season team meeting. What are we going to achieve for next season? Euro Cup. Everybody's happy with that, I think. Yeah, everybody's happy with that because it's an FM glitch. It's got to be an FM glitch. End of season review. Improvements to the club stature. They're happy. Good for them. Foster out for 2 months with a torn hamstring. He did miss an extended amount of time. Bernade is out for a while too. He was out for close to 3. Oh, it's going to be close to 2 months with a torn thigh muscle. Preseason start date. Yeah, we'll go 5 weeks. So we won the Champions League that should be coming up here. The World Cup is next season. Well, as you can see, preparations for the offseason are underway. We're looking at re-signing some people, but not everybody. Certain players are going to be leaving. It's, the circle of life in football. And it being World Cup season, it makes our job significantly harder in terms of who we want to bring in and scouting. So I'm going to wrap this up. This has been a fantastic season. Champions League qualification. I really thought we'd go European again. Our Euro Cup run was brilliant. Getting all the way to the semifinals was great. We had some lucky results, but sometimes that's what you need to get ahead. At the same time, we had some very good player improvements and some very good player performances. The question is, are we going to be able to improve the team to stay up in the qualification places next year? I still think we're probably 2 or 3 years away from challenging PSG, at least on a 50-50 basis. We'll have to wait and see what happens. As a matter of fact, I don't know. Have they played Champions League yet? Let me see. No, they lost to Man City in extra time. But the goal next season, European League finishes. I think we'll be able to do it. So, thanks for sticking around for this long. I realize this is a long episode. There's a lot going on, though. If you do like what you've seen and heard, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more content. Questions, criticisms, comments, leave those down below. I'll answer them as fast as I can. My name's FM19, and I thank you for watching the Return of Gloria with SC Bastia, episode 67.